I need to get a hold of these motherfucking bags. These airplanes are gonna piss me off in this video, I swear to God. Okay. Hello everyone. I know, I look very fresh faced. It's giving, just came out the shower, just came out the bath, which is very, very true. But yeah, I'm coming at you raw and authentic in this video, okay? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about hair, natural hair, 4C hair, all of the above. I am very nervous, so I wanted to kind of do like a get ready with me to kind of like calm the vibe and not like, obviously this is a serious topic and I wanted to honor that, but just as well not be too tense and just like me sitting here giving like a speech, but I've no way to get ready too. So, and I also just very much have a 2-step makeup routine, so instead we're going to detoxify our soul and do a face mask. Hopefully you will still take me seriously when all of this is on my face. I know I look very rattish. It's giving rattish, it's giving just came out the bed. That is true, it is the morning time, so yeah. Okay, I am pretty nervous to film this video, to talk about this like topic. I don't know why, like these are like in my everyday life, in everyday like conversations and stuff, I have these conversations and these thoughts and these contemplations. I just feel just like an extra level of nervousness speaking and like voicing my opinion and sharing it online, but we're gonna get into it today. Yeah, strap in. It's gonna be quite a deep and vulnerable conversation, quite meaningful. I am very, very nervous, only because like there's a part of me that doesn't feel like qualified enough to talk on this matter. I know that discussions surrounding hair, natural hair, black hair, texturized hair, kinky, curly, coily hair are often like politically charged or are made with a lot of controversy, debate and discourse. But if you're anything like me, young, black and curious, and you do have this hair, I feel like, and you want to learn to care and embrace it, I feel like shying away from these conversations only, you know, perpetuates the sort of shame and like disconnectedness and disillusion that we are made to feel about our hair as people with like black hair and stuff. So yeah, in this video I really want to talk about it. I want to share my experience with my own hair, my own journey as a young black woman with black hair, and the evolution I've had from honestly like hating my hair once upon a time, feeling very disconnected, overwhelmed with taking care of it, learning about it, and like ashamed of it. And yeah, just the things that I've done in my little life and learned that have moved me towards caring for my hair, embracing it, accepting it, and being like just proud of the natural hair on my head. I think a caveat that I want to add is like, yeah, like there have been many advancements made in society when it comes to conversations surrounding hair, black hair, and the treatment of it and the way we view it, you know. But in my opinion, I still feel like there's a very long way, and hopefully I can offer my perspective, my little mindset shifts and insights as to how one cannot just like, I don't know, like superficially take care of their hair, because I feel like there's a lot of that on this platform, just an 11-step hair care routine. But I think I'm more well versed in the way in which I've just learned and developed how to view my natural hair and to take care of it and to view it in a much greater light. So yeah, this is also not like an exclusionary video where I just sit on a natural hair high horse and claim to be like a great symbol and like icon for the of the natural hair movement, because I'm literally not. I'm literally just a hunch, literally a honey, sharing their experience. This is not an exclusionary video by any means, and I'm not. And make those who aren't black or who don't look like me, or who do look like me and who do decide to not have natural hair or decide to assimilate to Western standards of beauty. This is not a video to like shame or dog people like that. I mean, you can do whatever you want with your hair. Hashtag freedom all the time. No, but genuinely, yeah, this is not an exclusionary video by any means. I'm not calling out anyone. I do braids and try to assimilate to Western standards of beauty, wittingly and unwittingly. But yeah, I feel like the aim of this video, at the very least, is just to spark some like ongoing discussion about hair and create like a space for not only me, but for others alike to share their own journey when it comes to hair. Yeah, and as much as I think this video will resonate with people who identify as being black or who look like me or who have like black natural texturized hair, I think this video, I honestly think this video can be useful to anyone, because I feel like literally anyone and everyone has a meaningful story, a meaningful relationship when it comes to their own journey with their hair, especially in the society. So yeah, I'm gonna be drinking my coffee and I'm super comfy. I'm gonna be putting on a face mask so that I just don't feel like Simlish throughout this video. Have a drink, grab your coffee, get comfy, grab your face masks if you want to, and let's get into it. Okay, so just act like I'm on FaceTime with you guys. So I'm gonna be not looking directly into the camera. I'm gonna be looking at this mirror over here, but I'll make sure to keep eye contact. And my notes are also down here, but should I share what this is? This is from Clicks. So literally not a beauty guru. Detoxifying charcoal. It's a peel off face mask for normal, dry and combination skin. This is just fun to use. Don't really know if it works, but my skin's not complaining. Never has complained, so there you go. Okay, I'm so like awkward and weird today. Okay, so yeah, where do even I begin? Okay, so I seem to go through like a bunch of phases when it comes to my hair. Like it's very like seasonal, I guess. I'll go through phases of liking it, loving it, styling it, embracing it. I do lots of hairstyles. I really do like getting into it with my hair. And then there are just times where I just fucking hate this shit. Like, there's actually no other way to say it. Excuse my vulgarity, but sometimes, and I've done the big chop before, but like, there's sometimes where I'm just like, I actually can't deal. I just literally want to cut it off. So yeah, I genuinely do go through different phases with my hair. Right now, I have my natural hair on. I've been cornrowing the shit out of this hair. I'm actually a pro. comment in the description box below if I look like Georgia Smith, because yeah. But right now I'm back in the season of liking it. I did like braids in the beginning of the year, and faux locks, and like longer cornrows and stuff. And since I did do a big chop, I've just been, since like last year, towards the end of last year, I did cut all my hair off, and yeah, since like mid last year I haven't like cut my hair at all, and I've just been focusing on growing it out, and it's been really fun and interesting. So yeah, like I've just been like back in the season of liking it, and honestly taking the liberty and the time to learn about it as I go through these different like hairstyles or hair phases, and just to be like intentional about it. And I think as well, me like liking my hair is also like translated into me wanting to talk about it, make this video, and contemplate how to like care for it, like on a superficial level. But like yeah, even more deeply, I have been taking the time to really learn and view my hair from a greater perspective, a historical one, learning about just like the history and the significance of my hair, and you know, the roots per se, but also honestly like a spiritual one, like a symbolic and spiritual one, and I'll get into that just now. But I feel like hair I feel like hair amongst many things is symbolic and significant. To me, it's more than just tufts of creatine on your head. It's truly symbolic, and there's been a lot of media. I say this because there's been a lot of media that I've been consuming, which has made me truly inspired to film this video for you guys, and like not only again like just care about my hair on like a superficial level, but to like contemplate the whole idea of hair and what it means to me, and my journey with my hair, how I treat it on like, and the thoughts and views I have about it on like a deeper level. So speaking about deeper level, there has been a book that I've been obsessed with since the day I've got it. It's called Symbols. It's a dictionary for symbols, and I've always loved extrapolating meaning from things. Literally, if you know me, I will not shut up about my dreams and like meaning, and like I'm just I'm such a symbolic person. I take that book with me everywhere, and almost like intuitively, or when I have a recurring symbol in my life, I like to open the book and to read about like the potential significance of a particular object or word, and then like see where it like fits it into my life. I don't know, I guess if you're just like a very logical and rational person, you're probably just like, girl. But I guess it's a matter of like personal philosophy, whether or not you believe in like the effort of like assigning meaning onto things. Most definitely a cigar is just a cigar, you know, like sometimes there's like I do see the whole idea of like it's not that deep, but to me it's always been that deep. Like I don't know, I think things, I've always just felt like, or I've always had like this inclination, again maybe it's like my own like curious nature, that there's always something about things, or like there's always some essence or story or meaning behind particular things that are worth learning about. And to me, that's been hair. So I've been like very focused and in tune and like concerned with my hair and like doing it and, you know, learning about it. And so I decided to look up the meaning behind it. And you guys, for some of these symbols, there's actually like one lines, like you'll get like one liners, right? For hair, there is literally 5 pages worth of like symbolic meaning of hair. And already for me, I was like, interesting. And yeah, the book talks about like hair being a sign of femininity and fecundity and fertility and beauty. And another like popular one is just like hair is like symbolic of an owner's virtues or a means of like determining a person's like personality by how they like have their hair. There's also like on a more historical thing, there's like hair being a symbol of like social, even like spiritual status. And then there's like biblical stories. Like I feel like we all know from like the biblical story of Samson that in that story hair was like a symbol of like strength, and you know, so yeah, there's just like 101 meanings, honestly, literally 101 meanings about hair and symbolic meanings about hair. And I also like the ones, because I can be a spiritual girly sometimes. I love, sometimes, all the time. I also love, you know, the ones that share about like how hair is also like regarded as like a crown, or like on a spiritual level, like some sort of like holy mane, you know, like something that connects you as a human to like the spiritual realm. And so in many cultures and many religions, different deities or even just like people would style or have their hair in a specific way because it was, yeah, like this holy mane, you know. So yeah, all that aside, I think, I mean, believe it or not, you know, that's like up to you, but I think if anything, all of that knowledge just like, at least for me, illuminates just the significance and the importance of hair throughout like history and society and in different cultures, and the ideas we as a society carry about hair, you know. Again, like especially after reading this, I feel like any debate surrounding it's just hair or it's not that big of a deal kind of fall flat, because it has a lot of significance, meaning, you know. And I mean, if it wasn't so important, it wouldn't be politicized or policed or, you know, like spoken about or viewed in a specific manner, if that makes any sense. So yeah, like, I don't know, I just think that it is very interesting to take notes of that things are quite deeper than they seem on the surface. And as an individual whose hair's doesn't look like it does not conform to the popular Eurocentric like standards of beauty, yeah, so a little bit about me. Obviously my hair does not necessarily conform to Western standards of beauty. It is 4C, it is thick, it is curly, it is texturized, it is all things black, okay? And I literally remember from a very young age being deeply disconnected with my hair, and I guess then like by virtue part of my like identity, I mean, I just remember always wanting white people's hair. Like in my like friendship groups or anything when I was younger, the people's hair that I envied was the white girls. Like I envied long beachy waves, strawberry blonde highlights, like tight brunette curls. Honestly, it just had to be long, and I was obsessed with your hair, you know. Anything that my hair was not, essentially. Because yeah, I think even at that young age, it was like a symbol of femininity for me and beauty, you know. I glorified such hair, and the media that I was consuming back when I was a child, or like in the early 2000s, I confirmed this standard of beauty to me. And so when I was like kind of like old enough to realize that I was never gonna have white girl hair, I was like, oh well, this is fucked, you know. Unless I style the shit out of my hair, or like unless like I would never like I just like kind of like I remember like realizing that I will like never possess this type of hair without the help of like a lot of tools, chemicals, styling products, what have you. I don't know, like I just sort of like I don't know how to explain this, but I kind of just like detached and disconnected from my hair in a way. Like obviously I knew it was there and I was like very cognizant of it, but I just like detached in some way. Like I was just like, well, this is just like a leg, you know. Like I didn't really deep my hair, or I didn't really think about it. But I did, but like I didn't like think about my hair. I don't know, it was just like weird, right? So I sort of just like left. I was like, okay, well, I'm just in a weird way gonna accept the fact that I'm not like this sort of beauty. And so I just kind of like left the fate of my hair in the hands of like braids and relaxants. And oh my god, cue the motherfucking dark ages. Yeah, I call these time the dark ages because it was like a deep time of like ignorance and honestly like disconnectedness, like a palpable disconnectedness with my, and shame with my non-conforming hair. Granted, I was young, like I don't think we have much self-awareness when we're that young, but we also kind of do. But yeah, like oh my goodness, like first of all, so there's this article that I was reading. It's a journal article. It's written by Sherry, let me see. The name of the article is called The Business of Hair, The Meaning of Hair for South African Black Women by Sherry R. Machila. Machila, yeah, I hope I'm saying that right. But this woman, I think is from the university. This bitch is gonna die. Hold up. Okay, I can't do these things. Okay. But yeah, this article is really, really good. I highly recommend that you read it. But it's like this woman did like a qualitative research study where she interviewed different Black South African women and just like, their own like journey about their hair and how, sort of like the impact, or like how, the impact of the natural hair movement in South Africa. And so this woman, the author, shares like her personal account and the accounts of other women, but in her like account she shared like stories about like when she was younger and like all these just heinous experiences about hair and going to the hair salon and plaiting your hair and swimming with your hair and all of these things that I literally blocked the fuck out. Like I was like, oh my god, yes, relatable. I forgot about this stressor, I forgot about just like all of these ideas. Like I resonated a lot with what you were saying. But guys, yeah, I fucking blocked out, best believe I blocked out literally all of these painful braiding experiences and hairdressers just pulling the shit out of my hair and hairline. Like I literally remember having to take Panado coming back from like specific hairdressers because they were just insane, you know. No fault to them, and I feel like pain is kind of beauty, but geez, at that age, you know, it is kind of a little bit traumatic. And I mean, yeah, like I went through all of that. I mean, breakage, a little bit of traction alopecia. My hair was so thin from we're not even going to talk. I actually need to say trigger warning, relaxants. That shit probably scarred every black child. Like that shit should be illegal. I won't even lie to you. Honestly, I think if done by the right person, it should not be painful and majorly traumatic. But I just had the worst experiences with relaxants. Like it was just not for my hair. It was stinky. It burned. I remember my scalp always being burned. I don't know if it was from the relaxants or me scratching my hair because I don't know, or scratching my scalp because it would be like dry. I literally remember having scabs and just like shit experiences that like I feel like a little kid doesn't really have to worry about, you know. And yeah, I didn't feel any more proud about my hair, especially because I just like I began associating it with like just like stress or just like a simple pain in the ass. And again, if we think just about like how you know, hair is like part of a person's identity, whether you're male or female, or whatever, but hair is like, it's like linked with a person's identity. And if this, I don't know, for me, I just kind of think like if you are constantly hating this aspect of yourself, I think that does take a toll on your identity or the way you kind of view yourself or whatnot. But yeah, I experienced the whole lot of it and still no pride in my hair. I literally even remember just wanting to swim, but then the relaxer would just be melting off my head. So just like 101 experiences, you know, which I'm sure many of you guys can relate to if you have 4C hair, if you've relaxed it. Just like the whole spiel and shtick of it was just like, at the very least, annoying, but like most of the time quite like demoralizing. And I feel like those instances over time do create like a sense of shame and embarrassment, or like just a disconnectedness with oneself and identity, you know. I also think back to, and this kind of like links into this whole idea of just the thoughts that were imposed upon me as like a black little child about my 4C hair by, honestly, like by other black women, never mind the media or society, but yeah, wittingly and unwittingly by my mom or my sisters, or just like other women who were black as well who had 4C hair. And yeah, just like the narratives, which I'm sure they were like other black women who probably also had the same narratives imposed upon them about their hair, you know, just about like how difficult and problematic and tedious. And I feel like, that's true. Like it was true. It was like a truth for our hair to be like tough to manage, but I urge you to watch this video of this creator, and she kind of like goes into depth just about like how the whole idea as well of our hair as like black people or black women being difficult is a bunch of bullshit and propaganda, if I'm being quite honest. Just because it's like other hair as well, natural or not, 4C or not, also requires a lot of time, effort and energy, and takes effort to maintain. But I just think about, just like the language surrounding specifically having your natural hair be, not relaxing it, not putting it in a protective hairstyle, not maintaining it, how it was like spoken upon as being difficult, problematic, and at the very least, or even ugly, honestly, like ugly, graf, coarse, just, all of these things. But like at the very least, it was always just spoken of in subpar terms, just like how, like subpar our natural hair is, how much it sucks, how we wish it was longer. And I definitely, again, don't think that there was like any malicious intent in that. I don't even think there was even like much awareness about that back then, but those thoughts and ideas definitely crept into my mind, and I started thinking about my hair in that way, that I couldn't wait to unplait my hair so that I could wash it and then plait it again, because I wanted to swim, but I couldn't because my natural hair was gonna get fucked up in the water with all of this, with like the pool, and I didn't have the knowledge on how to wash and take care of my hair, or like just minimizing efforts of styling it before school. I didn't want to go through that because I didn't necessarily know how to do my hair on a consistent basis quickly before school, so it was always just unplait and put it in a protective hairstyle so that you don't have to like worry about it. And it's kind of like that's like you start getting disconnected with your natural hair, and you start like despising it and hating it, and never really like wearing it out and proud. So and in that article, in the article that I just mentioned, there is a reference to this whole idea of like post-traumatic slave syndrome that like Black American, not just women, but people experience. And certainly I feel like that's kind of like the same for South Africa, where there was apartheid, just like collectively there's still this sort of like collective trauma which many Black people still experience to this day, like never mind the systematic oppression that's still ongoing, but like like the psychological stuff, like I think there's like remnants of that in we in like a post-apartheid society or like a non-colonial society, but we still, Black and whites, are still expressing, or there's still remnants of that like conditioning about how we think Black people are, as subpar, subhuman, just like negative and honestly harmful beliefs about Blackness that are wittingly or unwittingly still perpetuated, and even if it's to a lesser degree, are still being perpetuated nonetheless. So I mean, it's actually only now that I'm starting to just clock all of these things about my life and like where like this has come up in my life, and certainly it has in my hair and the way I view myself. But like I believed all of these things, as I said, and I didn't realize how these views were stemmed in a lack of knowledge and research in our hair as Black people, and also again like how these views were these views, these limiting and negative views about my hair or our hair, were rooted in Eurocentrism, colonialism, and apartheid, and all of these things, and are perpetuated by a sense of internalized racism. So all of that jargon aside, yeah, like obviously in my younger years, I never took the liberty of questioning these beliefs. I just like believed it and did as I was told. And yeah, I didn't even think that was, I just kind of didn't really think much about my hair other than ways in which I could manipulate it to conform to the status quo. So yeah, and I think the takeaway from all of that stuff is like, I think like many things, when a group of people are made unaware of their true essence, or aren't taught about their history or their culture, or literally simply how to take care of their body, how to take care of literally the hair on their head, I feel like this does lead to a degradation of literally all things physical, mental, spiritual, cultural. Like, I think like physically we can see the harm that these thoughts have done in terms of Black people, or like us burning our hair, crispifying our hair, because we believe it's less than, and burning our scalp. And there's literally even an article that was talking about like how relaxants are linked to causing cancer, and like you just, it's just crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. But yeah, it leads to like just being disconnected with like yourself, and the degradation of all things physical. I mean, you know, burning our hair, burning our scalp, crispifying our hair, like just destroying our hair. And then culturally, we are disconnected from our heritage. You know, we begin to like question or hate or become ashamed of our racial and cultural identity. And then I think this like leads into like the spiritual side of things, where people are like disconnected with themselves and their authenticity and their identity. And again, if we're going back to the whole symbol stuff, and if you believe that hair does have not only like a social or whatever significance, but a spiritual one as well, like then you as a person ultimately are also like disconnected from your spiritual essence, you know, your metaphorical halo. And so yeah, guys, it's hella deep. Like it gets, this shit gets hella deep. It really does get deep. But I think if there's one thing, if there's like, okay, but yeah, I think that if there's one thing I urge you to do, is to take the time, whatever race, ethnicity, hair type, culture you are from, to go and learn about your hair. Like, I can assure you that more will be uncovered about your hair than just your hair. Like, you will come to find out about the cultural significance, spiritual, well, like all of these things about your hair. And I think as well, you as a person, you begin to create your own narrative surrounding your hair, and you begin to question the ones which are imposed upon you, whether it be directly or just like from society. Because yeah, like most definitely, like when I started to, like when the natural hair movement infiltrated society, or like came into play, or was like up and running, I was gagged by the idea that hair had significance, that Black hair was symbolic, that it had like cultural and heritage historical roots, and that in this culture it was styled in this way because it had this significance, and in this culture it was done like this and it had this significance. And I was just like, what? Like, even though I still love my braids and I still would love a weave, don't get me wrong, do not get me wrong, I will want, like, if you decide to get me a lace front today, I will wear it, babes, I will wear it, but that's out of like choice, you know, and there's like power in that. Realizing that this hair, this one that I grew with, is important, is valid, is beautiful, is very significant, and was regarded as highly significant in the past. And it was only through colonialism essentially that it's been pissed on, like the the idea of my hair being great has been like pissed on. That made me start to like think like, oh, you know, interesting, you know, at the very least you'll just be like, interesting. And I think that's empowering, honestly. Like, I do think that's empowering to see your hair from multiple perspectives, or to, yeah, like I definitely, I think the whole idea of creating, there's been this stray dog the whole day, like, guys, literally take care of your dogs. Okay, yeah, but yeah, like, most definitely this will inspire, if you do hate your hair, if you do currently hate your hair, learning about it regardless of your race and culture, because there's significance in every single culture and all of those things, but it will most definitely inspire a change within the way in which you view your hair on a physical level. Yeah, maybe you just might find tips and tricks on how to grow your hair a little bit longer, but I assure you, especially in today's like internet age, you will definitely find some deeper level shit that you have never known, or that you never knew about your hair. So hopefully you guys are you guys still with me? Leave a comment down below if you're still with me. Yeah, because I know I'm just like throwing literally sociology jargon, psychological jargon, historical jargon, like I'm throwing a lot at you guys. So let me know in the comments down below if you are still with me, if you're enjoying this. I think I'm gonna take a pee break, hold on. Okay, now that we've touched on the little significance of it, I wanna talk about my little situation with the natural hair movement. So fast forward a little bit to COVID, okay? So the whole world was shut down, all the salons were shut down, and that was when I realized like, oh shit, I am very reliant on other people to take care of my hair, specifically my hairstylist. And yeah, like I was gonna have to start taking care of my hair on my own. And I think it was during this time in particular, I would say, was when there was a pivotal change in my relationship. I don't know if I can talk now. Okay. I would say that I can't laugh. I would say that there was a pivotal change in my relationship with my hair, because this is when I started literally taking care of my hair like a maniac. The natural hair movement just started like kicking up. I think I actually started getting into the whole like hair stuff, or like the history behind hair, when there was a lot of like cultural appropriation about hair. Genuinely, that sparked my whole interest in like being like, oh, hair's deep like that, like I never knew that. But yeah, the whole natural hair movement in society started, and I think as well, I just started seeing big chop videos everywhere. Oh my goodness, all over the internet. If you don't know what the big chop is, I literally sound like I'm part of now I am fully part of the natural hair community. But if you don't know what the big chop is, it's essentially where you cut off dead ends or chemically affected parts of your hair to allow for like the natural curl pattern of your hair to regrow, essentially. yeah, again, like articles were coming out about how fucked up relaxants were, and how they, like, lots of natural hair products or 4C hair products were not even created by Black people or like tested on Black people. There was just like some tomfoolery, and so more people were cutting off their hair, regrowing their hair, taking care of their hair with more natural products and exploring all of that. And I was very, very, very interested in that. And so yeah, like each time before COVID, each time I would unplait my hair, even though I would like unplait it again for school purposes and stuff, I would like snip, like I'd literally take kitchen scissors or like stationary scissors and like cut off the straightened parts of my hair, and eventually it was a bit short, but I wasn't like wearing it out naturally. But I was like really appreciating the growth in my hair, and yeah, like realizing I never fucking liked that shit of relaxing my hair. Like I truly never liked it. It was just a pain in the ass, and there's just something that always just, it's like, it's wrong, you know. I don't know if this is my own idea or like, again, in the article it was mentioned, but just like this feeling of just like, this is so wrong. I know it's so wrong, but I'm like doing it. I'm literally sitting in the chair, like having that Dark and Lovely just smeared on my head, and then oof, yeah. But yeah, so just like that, I was awakened to the whole world of 4C hair and the natural hair movement, and that was really empowering and definitely marked a pivotal change in my relationship with my hair. I'll say, if you've just typed in hair care 4C on the internet, you will probably be overwhelmed. I was extremely overwhelmed in the beginning, just because of like, yeah, like a few years prior, I didn't really, again, like that little disconnectedness, like I didn't really care for my hair or like know about the significance of my hair on like a deeper and like a superficial level. I never knew how to take care of it, in a sense. Like I was just always kind of like, it was, before that it was just kind of like trial and error, you know. You just take the Dark and Lovely moisturizer and you just put it on your hair, and then you just like hope for the best. I never knew about hair porosity, different textures, different hair types, sulfate-free shampoo, all of this like jargon, pre-pooing, shampooing. I also, what was like literally revolutionary, and it's something so simple, like we just know that, oh yeah, as a Black person, you're not allowed to, like, hair is so different, like water is not your friend and everything like that. But literally learning the opposite, that like your hair needs water, it needs moisture, it needs hydration, it needs all of these things. And so yeah, it was kind of like, I don't know what to do, this is so overwhelming, because yeah, before that I had no idea that my hair carried this much importance, historical and cultural background, and the idea that it held space in society to be cared for, to be embraced in its natural state, was like revolutionary for me. So I got into taking care of my hair and learning all of these terms, and definitely thank God that was like during, and this was like during COVID times, where I'd unplaited my hair, and it was like out and proud, and I was letting it breathe. And yeah, I did have the time to experiment with coconut oil and castor oil and olive oil, and you know, switching to like more friendly hair care products, and all of these things, even just kind of like using what I have at home, because yeah, and like caring for it, learning about protective hairstyles and all of these things. It truly was amazing, and I loved it. And I found it jarring, but I still find it jarring that it was only at the age of 17 that I was beginning to learn about my hair, And moreover, how much I didn't, like how I was just only then beginning to learn about my hair. But we all develop at our own pace and rate. But yeah, I think I was also surprised at how this again links to the whole propaganda of hating your hair and what I was just talking about, like how black hair is so difficult to manage and wada all of these things. How when I started like establishing my own routine and using the resources I had at home, and the products I had at home, making do with what I have, and like doing a consistent routine and all of these things, like getting over the learning curve of like all of this information about my hair, I was like, it's actually not that difficult, babes. It's literally not that difficult. Like, it's not as hard as it's been like made to seem, or as difficult, or as like troublesome or problematic, or even like time consuming, as all other hair like things are, like whether you are sitting down and plaiting your braids, or you have your natural hair out, or whatever. I think again the whole idea that it is problematic, or it is tiresome and time consuming and all of these things, I do believe that that's some sort of like propaganda, so that we as black people with natural hair, continue to stay complacent, or continue to hand over our power to other people to just take care of our hair and to just like do our hair. Actually doing it and taking care of our hair, I think it does take time and effort, but just waking up and making sure my hair was, like neat out of my face and washed or clean or whatever, that I found that didn't take any much more time than, first of all, any other person with other hair does. It's just the styling and the maintaining that takes time and effort, like any other hairstyle or hair type. I loved taking care of my hair. I actually did like enjoy it, and I think that was the sense of like authentic, that was like the authentic sense of pride, or like sense of like authenticity and beauty that I started to realize that I'd been missing throughout all of these years. Because there is a level, I don't know if it's just me as a woman or whatever it is, but I feel like this just goes for everyone. Like when you start focusing energy on yourself and seeing your own beauty, and like kind of like again like working with what you have, and embracing what you have, and being committed to taking care of your hair, your health, whatever it be, your mental health, whatever it is, there is a sense of like pride and fulfillment and connectedness that you begin to feel. And so I just did that for about a year or so. When school opened again, I did braid my hair and keep that moving. But I think I was starting to become really proud of my hair. And then when I was 18, chop that shit off. Big chop time. I cut it all off, like literally all of it. I think it's time. BRB. You wanna watch me? I feel like you wanna watch me. Ow. Oh, ow. Psycho killer. This feels so good. Yeah. Fucking hell, that was delicious. Okay, I'm just moisturizing my face right now, but let's carry on. So yeah, like I said, I literally chopped it all off. I remember feeling like it was a spur of the moment kind of a thing. But I think looking back at all of this, I think it was just this whole thing of like feeling quite the opposite of like hating my hair now. Like I was like, oh, like the idea of me cutting my hair and then having it like regrow just like from the top, from fresh, was just like such a interesting idea. I was definitely sold by the big chop people. Like I really liked that whole idea, and it really did like kind of symbolize this like rebirth and just change in the already like developing and changing relationship that I had with my hair. And so yeah, I think I was like deeply inspired by the idea of starting afresh and committing fully to like the whole natural hair journey process. And to be quite honest, like I think superficially I was actually kind of like bored of just like having braids like my whole life. Because yeah, that's kind of like the only hairstyle we could necessarily do for school, and it had to be black because of the color. And I was like, I literally look the same as I have since I was like 7, so like what's going on here? Like let's switch it up, please. So yeah, like the idea of also just like styling my hair and working with it and learning how to take care of it through the different like stages of growth also like really inspired me too. And so yeah, for about like 2 years I just kept like cutting my hair. And so I would definitely say that the big chop was a huge act of like truly the idea of starting afresh and reclaiming, you know, like I think the whole idea of starting afresh and reclaiming just the care and control over my hair that I'd just like relinquished and outsourced and detached from in my formative years was like very appealing to me. I mean, I was like 18 and really starting to become like a young woman, so I think that was like a bit of a step towards that direction. And for almost 2.5 years, yeah, I just kept like cutting it and shaving it, and it was really like fun. And I think as well that influenced my style and my fashion, and was just a way in which I could just like explore myself. Yeah, the big chop brought about a lot of insights. I mean, I could literally talk about the good, the bad, and the bold all day long. Maybe I'll touch upon in another video. It was quite a lot of insights. But looking back, yeah, the act of the big chop was like a huge radical act of transformation in taking control of my hair, my beauty, and ultimately it's like sowed the seeds, or like continued to like nurture the seeds that I feel like were already like sown of consciousness surrounding my hair and like hair in general. And I think that is like another form of knowledge or wisdom that I can implore onto you guys, is not necessarily like chopping off your hair. Like if that's not your vibe, don't do that. I'm not saying that you have to kind of cut off all your hair to come to these realizations, but I think it was the act of doing something transformative which almost forces you to take control of your hair, which almost forces you to, like for me as well, like look at my scalp that I'd just been scratching and gnawing at, and for like years and years on end, and then like moisturizing and reducing my hair care products, like I think it definitely forces you to face the reality of your scalp, your hairline, your curl pattern, your everything. Like you get to see for yourself how your hair grows, the speed at which it grows, finding ways in which you can take care of your newfound hair, your new little baby virginal roots, and connect with your like your metaphorical, your literal, but also like your metaphorical roots. A takeaway from that is that no one can tell you otherwise about your hair, when I feel like you are reclaiming so much control over it. If you are kind of at that point where you are overwhelmed with your hair, it's broken, you have traction alopecia, your scalp is destroyed, you're overwhelmed with products, all of these things, definitely cutting it off and literally starting from the very beginning can be very helpful and transformative. If cutting all your hair is not something that you want to do, completely understand it. Like it's not for everyone, and it's sometimes not people's vibes and whatever. I definitely think like try styling it, try dyeing it, try like try like styling it, dyeing it with your own hands if you're so used to like having it being plaited by someone else. Definitely something like this, like cornrows, I would have gone to a hairstylist to do this, and this is just like, at least for me, like this is such a simple, rudimentary, like level 1 hairstyle that I feel like I should be able to do as a person with like hair. But yeah, like learning stuff like that, learning just like simple things, like, or like putting your hair into hairstyles that you desire, not something that someone has told you would look good on you, or trying a style that you've never done before, to either like continue doing that hairstyle or taking it off and trying another one. I think trimming it, dyeing it, letting it breathe, tying it up, doing whatever you want with your hair, I think like what I'm trying to say is that like no matter what you decide to do, I think the act of and the intention of taking control and doing whatever it is you want to do with your hair, and yeah, doing whatever it is that you want to do with your hair, is a good way to start, kind of like shaking off all of these ideas and limitations that have been imposed upon you about your hair and how your hair should look, how it should feel, what you should be doing with your hair and whatnot. Easier said than done. I mean, I don't know if everyone who's watching this is like a young adult, but like I know if you're in school, some schools literally don't allow girls to cut off their hair, or maybe your parents wouldn't fuck with that, or whatever it is, or maybe you can't just like dye your hair or trim your hair or whatever it is. I think just wherever you can, however you can, I think it's more than anything, it's not necessarily also again just like about what you do with your hair, but I think it's the little effort and the intention of embracing your natural roots and hair. If that's like set into motion, I think that's where the relationship between you and your hair will ultimately be like strengthened and established. Yeah, guys, I feel like that's all I kind of have to say. This video is already pretty freaking long. It's pretty long already. I'm starving and yeah, it's been long. But I would definitely love to talk about, I'd definitely love to speak more on this topic and more on like topics like this as I like grow more into being a woman. And just like learning about topics just surrounding my beauty, my aesthetics, my femininity, all of these things. I don't know if it's just like some prefrontal cortex maturing thing, but definitely the feelings and the thoughts and the attitudes I have towards these topics have like changed, or are beginning to change and evolved, and are less superficial than they used to be. Like, they carry more weight, and I think about them in a way more nuanced, and I feel like sophisticated way. And certainly I like sharing my ideas and learning about other people's ideas and what they think about these topics, and all of that stuff. So I'm like becoming aware of like what I've been thinking about them all along, and where they fit into my life, my perceptions and my beliefs and ideals, and which have been imposed upon me. And I literally catch myself every single fucking day. Like, I'm by no means perfect at all of this. Like, there are times when I literally go through fluctuations when it comes to accepting my beauty, accepting my hair, also even just catching myself thinking specific things about my beauty, about my aesthetics, about my femininity, about all of these things, and being like, where the fuck does that actually come from? And is this belief actually serving me? You know, why do I think like this? Why do so many other women think like this? Very interesting, very thought-provoking, and yeah, it's been on my mind lately, and it's been very fun being able to sit down and share and speak about this stuff, and being able to share it with you guys. So let me know if you guys resonate with these type of topics, if you enjoy them, these sort of like conversations and discussions. Very down to earth, very deep a little bit. It was fun getting to like being a bit vulnerable and raw, metaphorically and literally, being a little bit more vulnerable than usual on my channel. Would do it again. I am sending you guys so much love, light, and prosperity. I'm wishing you guys a good week further. Please do not forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, all of that stuff. I'd really appreciate it, and it really does help this channel out. Yeah, I love you. I'm sending you lots of love. I'm wishing you an amazing week, and yeah, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.